9 and 100 Thieves. When we're talking about the pedigree that this team has, the respect that we have for 100 Thieves, it's not only the fact that they have veterans too, but they have different types of playstyle on this roster as well that could really help them out. But we'll talk about that in a little bit because we're already ensuing into this pistol round as Asuna drops two from two players pushing aggressively, and that's him and also Dicey moving down towards his hookah ramp to get the two first kills. So that's going to nullify anything from 100 Thieves that are just trying to look for any type of pickoff game. It seems as though they were expecting some kind of push earlier on, as you saw how passively they played, but they still lost that gunfight. And it's not looking good here for Cloud9 to start things off.
You're absolutely right. C9 was there ready for that push. They were absolutely in the positions they needed to be, and they still lost the gunfights. Cloud9 now moving up short. All three players choked up here behind the double stacked boxes. Of course, 100 Thieves know exactly where they are, so this push has been stalled. And it looks like Cloud9 is just going to opt to TP to B. A nice little rotate going over. However, nobody's fooled. Austin is there, awaiting with the paint shells, ready to dish out towards Hookah. Rotation's already coming back towards that B bomb site for 100 Thieves, so there's no advantage here for Cloud9. It's going to be a 3-on-3 push in, and Asuna picks up his third. Dicey cleans up a fourth, and now just twice jumping out of Hookah finds one, not able to find the second, and then 100 Thieves will secure it 1-0, finding the pistol. Hey, we just talked about Bind. You know, if 100 Thieves is going to make this whole series competitive, right? I think we both agree that Bind is probably going to be the closest map here, at least in my opinion. But I do think you're right. Like, this is the map where if they're going to come out in this series and have a chance at beating the likes of Cloud9, that's a way to start it. Winning the pistol on Bind. Here we go.
And now that we have a chance to talk a little bit about the roster too, like for 100 Thieves, for me, you have Steel that is probably the in-game leader for this roster right now. Nitro could be the second IGL, and you even have Hiko that could chime in here and there. Then you have two young fraggers into Asuna and Dicey, and if everything goes wrong from the calls and everything as well, you still have the veteran of Hiko, where he's been a god of clutches back in his days in CSGO, and it still shows that, you know, as a boomer, he's still able to do the same thing in this game right now. So it seems as though Hiko kind of like revitalized himself into Valorant, into this roster, where, you know, they didn't have that much success when they had the high grounds roster signed up with him. And now you're seeing something positive, a positive outcome out of Hiko as well. A change of playstyle too. Switching over to a Sova, and his shock darts are just amazing. But Cloud9, the reason why I'm not talking about them that much, it's because we already know how amazing they are. They have 10s, but he's the first one to fall. But they're still looking to battle back here towards his B side, as you see Relics with a Bulldog. So I wonder at this point if they just wanted to go for this surprise buy and try to get something done here with the Bulldog in the second round.
Yeah, that's really interesting. See if it pays off at all. But, you know, that said, Cloud9, you're just going into a round like this where you're not likely to win it. You're already down a man. You have your raised players already at low HP. There's a lot of reasons to believe that 100 Thieves is going to clean this round up nicely. But hope for a bomb plant, maybe a kill or two. Dicey will find the first. Relics falls.
One enemy remaining.
With a second, Asuna picks up one as well. And it's just Vice once again over at Octagon area. Sorry, Hookah, I believe. Didn't even tell with his smoke. He's out in front of it. They still haven't found him. Amazingly. He's not going to be able to pick up any kills, but that was amusing for just a moment. And I think you're absolutely right about the IGLing on the side of 100 Thieves. Now, I'm not entirely sure how they structure their game plan, but listen, the bottom line is this. As far as you and I were talking about it, right? This is a roster where even if you don't have a dedicated IGL, if you have such experience and veteran leadership there that you have a lot of different, you know, dynamic mindsets that you can lean on. You can change your game plan. You can mid-game extremely well. And the two young players, as you're saying, probably are going to be experiencing, you know, a great team environment where they can be molded and they can understand why these veteran players think and play this way. Now, we do have a little bit of a pause coming out, but I'm just impressed that in such a short amount of time, and I don't know if we should be surprised with this 5, but 100 Thieves being able to at least be competitive against the top teams already is I think spelling, you know, hope and absolutely a positive outset leading into the next few events for this team, because obviously they haven't had the time and the experience in Valorant yet that Cloud9 has together. But a little bit of hookah aggression from Asuna again. We know he likes to play this raise in the hookah position just to force off any aggression early. And sometimes, you know, we saw him in the pistol pushing straight out there. It means that there's a constant threat for Cloud9 on their flank, and they're rocking a Killjoy, no Cypher. That may be important later on in this game as start to see some bold flanks coming out from the defensive side, but Cloud9 is opting to work very slow here, Van Stilly, just spreading the map, seeing whether or not 100 Thieves is going to show their hand or overplay at any positions. And definitely, I think the other aspect of this is they're not really showing a whole lot of map presence, but the Sova drone just went up long B. So 100 Thieves is going to be aware of that. They're going to hold the rotates over there. And I expect an A push perhaps to come out from C9, but they are taking their sweet time here.
This is what I like, though, because the first Sova drone that came out from teleporters saw the turret from Mitch, then they fell back into B, then you put an owl drone on the attacker side just to keep them into B, so you could explode into the A side, and they still have to go into a 3 stack, but it's still going to be a late rotate. So a good opening for Cloud9 right now, especially now that they get the entry frag too. So the first one to fall, Tens is moving in with the Bucky, and that's 1 and 2 to fall, and that's a 5-on-2 to start things off, and it's looking to be a flawless round, at least for now, because that could be the nail in the coffin to force the last 2 players to save. But we are not done yet with Tens. He's already at pipes in the defender spawn. As soon as his opponent comes around the corner of Asuna, he comes in with a right click. Another headshot to come through, and now he upgrades. This is such a good gun round. 400 Thieves so far, for Cloud9 so far, as Dicey is stuck with the Bulldog on the top of heaven. He at least gets 1 for his work, but he's about to get pinched right now towards the end of the round, and it should be the round coming in for Cloud9. That's at least a second kill. Now he's down to 2 HP through the smoke, and that's it. Tens opening things up with a 4K entry into the site, and Cloud9 wins this round. And just to go back to, 2 rounds ago here, Lex, when we saw that Bulldog being purchased by Relics, trying to take control with Tens together inside Hookah, I kind of like that play. It kind of brings me back to the early days of CSGO, for example, where, hey, we got a spike plant, we still lost the bomb plant, we still lost the round, but we could
a little bit of a hero
have some
buy.
guys, we were going to go for the European buy, the AK and armor for 2 players, and then have the rest on pistols. I think the idea was there, having that Bulldog aiming on the site, trying to get those burst shots, and maybe surprise 100 Thieves, and then the rest of the guys with pistols could upgrade into those weapons left behind into the site. It didn't pay off in their favor, which forced into a low buy for Cloud9 into the last round, but then again, you have Tens with a Bucky, and the entry that he got, though, was through the backside behind the APC instead of the front. So that was a gap that was exploited here by Cloud9, where 100 Thieves didn't pay attention to any type of jet push between Triple and APC. So well done for Cloud9. They win this round. It's still going to be a gun round coming in for 100 Thieves, as Nitro is trying to hold his ground here with his teammate.
Yeah, Bucky Bandit in the last round. Tens getting it done. It's always fun to see. A little bit of bathrooms pressure early on here. We do see, I believe it was Dicey with the operator holding that off angle, but the play has now moved to the other side of the map towards Hookah and B. And Cloud9, I mean, they're not exactly moving into a stack, but there is a lot of Killjoy utility they're going to have to get through first. The Sova is there, and I believe the Raze is already rotating over, so 3 members of 100 Thieves may make it to the bomb site in time to hold the push. But Steel already facing the heat from Hookah, taking a lot of damage through the smoke, through the wall, having to fall back and concede that position towards elbow.
30 seconds left.
And now all 3 players from 100 Thieves are off site. They're playing at that backhaul position, waiting for the retake, but Asuna catching a clip of that shock dart. Tens pushing in through the smoke, finding Hiko. And this is why Cloud9 is so scary. They are so in control of these rounds, and despite the fact that 100 Thieves had the read, did not matter. Cloud9 effectively taking the bomb site, forcing back the defenders. And then as soon as 100 Thieves seems ready and in position for the play, it doesn't matter. Cloud9 is in your face. And I think, a round or 2 ago, I was talking a little bit about how they were working very slowly, and it's very clear why now. Okay, so the Killjoy, I believe that's Mitch, is deploying the turret outside of Hookah to see Long B most of the round and to spot for a Hookah push. And when Asuna is pushing and making that aggression at Hookah known, if he kills that turret, Cloud9 is basically frozen on the map and cannot make a decision to go towards the bomb site until either a turret comes back up or you clear out Long B and Hookah. And so, when we're working these rounds very slowly for 100 Thieves, Cloud9, just be mindful of Mitch on that side of the map and what contact he's getting, because if he's getting pressured from the B players, it almost seems like they're immediately working up towards A, knowing that there's 3 players over there at B. Some smart calls coming out from Cloud9. And honestly, attack side bind coming out with 2 rounds. It's not exactly a position where you're going to run away with this half, and certainly we have the operator on Dicey, so it's not as though this is going to be an easy round here for Cloud9, but the confidence is clearly flowing now.
Yep.
And coming into bind, where I was expressing that 100 Thieves needed to be on their A game, the fact that Cloud9's already coming in, already a little heated, hitting their shots, That's a little worrisome for 100 Thieves fans, I think, now at this point. But a lot of rounds left to play.
Definitely a lot of rounds left to play.
Long B, maybe a B split. We do still see a killjoy on the other side of the map, but information games are being played currently. A dash towards elbow, a bold move from Tens, a little bit of a gamble, just hoping that nobody was over there in that position. But Steel, rock solid over there, and Cubby, Nitro, and Asuna both chiming in with their own in a nice, clean round from 100 Thieves. As I say that, I'm heaping praise onto Cloud9 for their almost disciplined play. They go, hey, listen, we got a little bit of money to work with. Let's throw caution into the wind and just sprint onto the site and see what happens. Does not pay off. Tense falls quickly, and Cloud9 crumbles in that one. 3-2 now, 100 Thieves.
It's also the story of 100 Thieves not biting any bullet in terms of like hesitating on where are they going to hit yet, because they've been quiet, right? It's been very patient executes from Cloud9 so far, ever since the pistol round into this one as well. They're just walking in slowly, trying to slowly gain map advantage, and if they don't spawn each other in terms of opposition, they're just going to go for that set play in the end, where you run into the site not knowing where your opponents are playing. You are putting the right smokes in the areas for the turret and try to get into the site and go for the trades. But that 3-man stack for 100 Thieves into that round was not discovered by Cloud9 by any means earlier on. So that's how you kind of had that advantage from 100 Thieves from the way that they guessed of where Cloud9 would execute. This round, though, they're going to have 3 players playing towards A instead, and that's where Cloud9 is working again. They're making a lot of noise, shooting some shots towards the showers as well, so that gives the position of Mitch away. But Steel's in a tight corner, and that's such a hard spot to play.
Wow.
I was looking for that surprise attack and maybe at least die, or at least take one with him before he dies, but that didn't pan out.
I expected a paranoia coming out from Nitro when that alarm bot dropped. I thought that was a nice little setup that they had, and instead Steel just holds the angle, and that is, like you said, that's a little bit of a death trap there. Hunter's Fury coming out from fight, allowing the short push to come up, and Tens gets contested, and I don't even know if Nitro was ready for that fight, because Tens was already through U-Haul, and the site is clear for Cloud9. That's the power of that Hunter's Fury. Vantilli is just pushing the D back.
I think it's also the fact that since Steel died early into round 2, it kind of keeps Nitro guessing as like, okay, well, I'm out of position this time too, because he's out in the open behind Powell. That being said, though, we do have a plant coming through from Cloud9. It's a 5-on-3. Looking to be secured for a 3rd round for the attacker side to tie things up on this first half. As Dicey is looking to retake this, though, he's flown in the air. He gets the first kill onto Shinobi, and Asuna chimes in for another kill. But in the end, it's still a 3 versus 1. Asuna looking to clutch it, and Mitch stops him in his tracks, putting a 3rd kill into the round for himself, including the entry frag at Showers. So yes, when you talked about the combo that was being played there by 100 Thieves, the idea was there. I've seen it being done before, too, where if Steel is going to actually hear something else other than his alarm bot getting busted, so if somebody else was going to throw another utility, which Mitch kind of did, so I believe that he should have called out. Yeah, he should have called out that paranoia after the nanostorm came out, so that he could wide swing into that. But maybe he didn't expect such a jiggle peek coming in from Mitch too. Like on the other end of the spectrum is if you're just landing a shot on a jiggle peek with a headshot right away, you surprise your opponent, and it just fumbles the defense that they have set up anyways. So it was still well done for Cloud9 to get that first entry in.
Yes, Cloud9 seems to be so... I mean, I described it as slow. Let's maybe careful wasn't the word either.
Methodical.
But yes, that's exactly the word that I was looking for, Vantilli. Thank you. But they are being so methodical with their very deliberate map control. Okay, they're grabbing bathrooms control, they're falling back. They're grabbing hookah, they're falling back. They're grabbing low and B, they're moving back. And it's not as though they're afraid to press on. They just know that the 100 Thieves, as far as they're concerned, their rotations are pretty static. They're not over-rotating. So when they're finding openings on the map against 100 Thieves, you know, okay, we have bathrooms control, we have an entry here. They're still keeping 2 players at B. This is our moment.
Yep.
All right, now as I say that, there are 3 players over here at the A bomb site. The push will be coming from Cloud9 up short A. On the bomb site already is Relic and Tens. Tens finds one, but Asuna cleans him up. Steel finding one of his own. Vice and Shinobi trade them out. 2-on-3 now. 100 Thieves back on a retake with a man disadvantage. This is not a good look for 100 Thieves so far, but bombs, the spike will get planted. And now at a 2-on-3 scenario, when you do have an operator on the retake, as I mentioned, this is a rough spot for 100 Thieves to be in. Maybe a situation where you want to opt to save it. I'm not sure, man. Silly.
You got Dicey, you got Hiko. So Hiko pulls out the recon dart, but with this 3 stack, he's going to do a bit of damage here on the right side onto the Silva Vice on the other side. But as soon as he peeks, he gets the double kill looking for that third. But Vice trades it out. It's up to a 1 versus 1, and you want Dicey to be alive for this. But he gets pinged out by the recon, and there you go. Vice, all he needs to do is play the time. That is a perfect play. Even if he died, I don't think at the end, Dicey would have the time to go for the defuse, and that's a great way to play it as that Sova for Cloud9, and they take the lead in this matchup 4-3. And like I said, when you have Hiko that's alive, and on paper, if all else fails, you could always count on Hiko to try to bring the situation closer to your favor. He did that exactly. But then again, when you have to play in against a Sentinel as a Sova, you have to break that dart. If not, it's game over. And Dicey only had an operator and a pistol too, right? It's a tough weapon to go against in that 1 versus 1.
You're absolutely right. And as I'm saying, like, man, the clock's ticking away, Van Silly. They might want to save here. I'm looking at this perfect crossfire in U-Haul. There's 3 players. There's no way that that 100 Thieves is retaking U-Haul, and Hiko gets it done. Yep. So I mean, that's what I get for doubting it. But Vice was able to clinch the 1v1. So 4-3 now. Cloud9 mounting an A aggression up short A. Finding the first is Relics on the Nitro at U-Haul. They have been dominating this short A position from the start of this game, and 100 Thieves has no answer at this point. Relics gets a dash forced out of Dicey there, but does not connect with the showstopper. The TP to B comes out. Ally Killjoy is dropped at A, but it does not matter. The play went the other way. And I think as I say that, though, Cloud9 has conceded the fact that the rotators stayed at B. So they're back on A now, planted the bomb. This is why Bind can be so fun to watch sometimes. The manipulation of the rotates coming out from Cloud9 is masterful. Shinobi is working this defense. It's a well-oiled machine for Cloud9 at this point.
You hate to see it.
Denied.
Steel just had it. It was just like unlucky time. It's like, why do you turn back? Why are you looking back towards here? And he gets the dink, but not enough for the kill because it is a classic. I think that's, what, 78 damage at that range? Not enough to secure that kill. It was an eco coming in for 100 Thieves. A nice idea to get that Killjoy ult out so they could force their opponents towards the B site, but Cloud9 just running around the world, marathoning back to the A site in the end, getting that spike plant, looking for the flawless as Asuna is on his own towards A heaven. He spots his opponent, trying to wallbang him as well with a stinger. It's not going to do that much. And that is going to be it. It's going to be 5-3 in favor of Cloud9 as Vice seals the last kill. And 100 Thieves at this point, Lex, I don't know how they could adapt to this matchup because Cloud9, for me, when you're looking at 10s, yes, he's on the top of the scoreboard at 10-4-1, but the thing is people are omitting the fact as how the team of Cloud9 enables him to get those kills. I've seen a couple of rounds where, you know, when it's going to be the utilities coming first, then you have Vice throwing the short darts in the right areas because when you have the Sova drone coming out, you have the paranoias, you're pushing your opponents back. There's already been some damage from paint chills as well. They're going away from their cubbies and they're trying to play a retake. Then you throw the shock darts at the entrances where you see those opponents hiding, and then that enables 10s to get into the site to get those entries in the end. So they have to kind of expect that. I think 100 Thieves at this point, they have to fight it back. Yes, you get damaged by utilities, but just try to take some down with you, even if you have to die at that point to make it easier for your teammates on that rotate.
Yeah, 100 Thieves is going to be looking for this push from Cloud9 towards Hookah. The crossfire is there from Steel and Asuna, so theoretically speaking, some kills should be coming out for 100 Thieves here. 1 and 2 for Steel. Cloud9 3-on-5, still pushing forward. Mitch finds Asuna. Steel gets his third. The Roomba finds another. And now it's just Vice in a 1v3. Okay, so 100 Thieves right there, mounting a defense with the crossfire at a point that Cloud9 was aiming to contest, not protest. That said, I mean, 100 Thieves was ready for it. And I was actually, you know, following what you were mentioning in the previous round of Vice. That was beautiful, man.
Yeah.
I love to see it. Get Nitro just getting deleted through that smoke. But, you know, for me, I would love to see from 100 Thieves, I feel like there's a restrained level of aggression. We've seen Dicey and Asuna both pushing out of Hookah, long B, taking bathroom control. Yeah. And they've done it, but they've limited themselves with how, you know, hard the angles that they're taking, how greedy they're getting with the pushes. And there's a reason for that. Mitch is keeping them very honest with his Killjoy utility.
Correct.
You know, we got 10 seconds left in this round. I don't know if Vice is going to jump out of the B and try and plant this. And he may aim to.
Make it expensive, right? You've won a lot of rounds already from Cloud9, so I would understand why he's still fighting them instead of saving the weapon. Also, we're still playing on the older patch, so saving your weapon also adds more economy too. So it's not limited to 100,000 credits only, but you know, you want to make it expensive for your opponents. Imagine if he actually did get 1 more or 2 more kills. It would have been a broken buy for 100 Thieves into this one here.
For sure. And as I was talking about Dicey, I think Long B has been a very open avenue of approach for 100 Thieves to get extra information on this Cloud9 attack. They're utilizing the teleporter very well. They have a propensity to take hookah when they want to go B. But the short A pressure has been there almost entirely throughout this game, even when they are working towards hookah late. So even just like being able to post up at an aggressive angle when you know Cloud9 isn't there, like Showers, they're doing it right now at Showers, okay? Yeah, so they don't quite know that the play is spread across the map. So Dicey will have that side of A almost completely locked down for 100 Thieves now.
Yep.
So Cloud9's options just became limited. So 100 Thieves doing the right things to, I think, at least be prepared for this inevitable short A play coming out from Cloud9. It's been so strong for them. They're going to come back to it, if not this round, the next round. But here they are, 4 players stacked up at that double stack at short. And they're just going to wait this smoke out, prepare for the assault. And at any moment now, I think Steel is there. Oh my goodness, Steel is probably calling out. He has his utility at short. Go stack towards B. That is not the call. That is not it. They've been duped. They've been bamboozled. C9 doesn't know it yet, but there's a near vacant bomb site. Only 2 players over here. Actually, Nitro will be rotating back in. This will be 3. Dicey's still over there in Showers. So the rotations are fine right now for 100 Thieves. They conceded U-Haul to Cloud9, but on the bomb site now is Relics wrapping on Nitro. Easy frag there for him, but he will fall to Steel, and Hiko with the Hunter's Fury coming in clutch. Finding one in a Shinobi, now it's a 4-on-3. Cloud9 opting to teleport as an operator chimes in from Tens. Nice shot from him. But Cloud9 in this 3-on-3 knows there's only 20 seconds left, so they're held up at hookah.
Yeah.
They don't quite know where this player is on B, but the challenge comes out. Austin whiffs. Does not land his shot to the bomb plant. Should be going down, but paint shells come out. Is it enough? No. Bomb plant comes through. The kill will come out, but it's just Steel now in a 1v2. Vice, Tens, denying entrance to the bomb site from Hookah. Tens with 3 on the round. The Jet operator coming in huge for Cloud9. 6-4 now. 100 Thieves trailing, desperate to find a response to this aggression from Cloud9 late in these rounds.
Yeah.
Never quite getting it right, Van Silly.
That's the second time now that you have somebody that got backstabbed into U-Haul from somebody freely pushing between APC and Triple. I'm talking about Nitro that got dispatched by Relics, and it happened a couple rounds before when Tens was able to get that double kill with the Bucky. So they have to pay attention to that. That's one thing. But the other one, it's just a costly mistake. Asuna had to kill that person. If it came down to that kill, I think there was a possibility where 100 Thieves would have still won that round despite Cloud9 still having players alive because there wasn't that much time left, and he was in a perfect position. The Hunter's Fury from Hiko was perfect to get a kill, force your opponents back to the teleporter right into the hands of Asuna, where he could actually hold them, hug them, and greet them with open arms, and actually dispatch the spike here. Even he had Mitch dead to rights, back turn against him, and unfortunately, it does not happen. So that there's nothing more it could really say, except for bad luck at that point. For not getting that kill, and Cloud9 just capitalized on that one too. So that means we have 100 Thieves on an eco. C9 will move easily into the site, working with the Killjoy ult again though, but this is going to be on the attacker side. So now we're going to have them just still dropping one by one. One is stuck toward the heavens. It's Hiko off down by Tens, and you're just going to have the last player, Asuna, again, looking for some sort of exit, and he's already been spotted by Killjoy utilities in the back, so you already have Mitch waiting for it there. So he does have a ghost. He's going to look to at least bring his aim back and maybe shake away the jitters. But it's not going to happen. Tens gets the 3rd of the round, and we're moving into the last round of the first half with Cloud9 looking a lot more comfortable here on the attacker side.
You could say that. I mean, they're literally walking up short A.
Yep.
Every round, and I don't mean to sound like it's easy for them. Obviously, there's a pretty solid team of 100 Thieves on the other side, but it's almost as though the challenges from 100 Thieves are coming through hesitation at this point, or maybe not at all. They're giving a lot of respect, rightfully so, to Cloud9. Tens is walking up short with an operator, and there's nothing scarier in the game, I don't think. So for Cloud9, it seems like they're having increased success the more they hit A, because 100 Thieves is you know, looking for a response, flailing for a solution. And each and every time they change something up, it's just getting picked apart and decimated by the likes of Cloud9.
Yeah.
He's having a stellar half here. Tens, the usual fragger for Cloud9 is, I believe, at like 18 kills or something. This guy is predictably playing to his level. And if you're a Cloud9 fan, you need that to collect a W.
Yep. And you're happy.
Bomb grenade out.
Now we're looking for some hookah control. That is going to be
Placing
Mitch.
bomb grenade.
And some information actually being thrown from Asuna, who manages to get that kill. So that's a great start, at least, to try to make it a 7-5. 7-5 is not too bad here from the looks of 100 Thieves, especially when you see how many times Cloud9 were able to take these sites quite easily. But you're still able to claw it back, battle it back, and turn this into a close game. They know now that Nitro is playing inside you, as that paranoia came out, doesn't affect anybody here, and they don't get any information out of that because nobody tried to peek towards the cubby where Dicey is currently watching from the heavens, and now with all of these smokes, we're maybe going to try to bait something here. So one went through, we're still trying to battle it back versus Asuna, but Nitro goes from the shadows behind them and got 2 kills out of it.
Wow. What a play from Nitro.
10 seconds
Oh my
left.
God.
And it's just Relics over here at short. 8 seconds left. There's no way he's going to get a bomb plant. Nitro finds his 3rd. What a move. The Omen finds 3 on the round with a backstab. 100 Thieves collecting
Switching
5.5. I mean, that could have easily gone to Cloud9, been an 8-4. Could have been worst case scenario for 100 Thieves. But you know, if you're going to get 5 on your defensive side, you know, hopefully if you're a 100 Thieves fan, you find some success in the pistol. Maybe you collect the bonus. And suddenly we'll have a competitive game, but at this point it's looking all Cloud9 with little response from 100 Thieves in this half. I mean, they tried various defensive changes. They showed aggression that I asked for from Dicey on both sides of the map, and unfortunately, neither, but I'll say that maybe there's more than 2 times that it happened, 3 or 4 perhaps, and I honestly didn't see a pick come out of it. And if sometimes maybe you just make a bad gamble, maybe you just make a bad choice, it's not your fault. Their kills don't come your way, but, you know, the scoreline's reflecting something a little bit more telling, I think, and that Cloud9 is on and they're ready to play this matchup. And looks like it's going to be a B-split coming out for 100 Thieves, Vansili.
And I like how they had the Killjoy turret actually inside Hookah. So first they do the Frenzy to take to break the Sova drone, and that turret's not spotted yet. So if there's going to be more aggression coming through, a Paranoia to retaliate, but that big Paranoia is not going to spot the turret either. But Shinobi and Tens are going to work through the teleporter as well as they come through inside Hookah. It's a 2 versus 2 to Spike is looking to get planted inside 10. We do have Dicey, it seems as though, going in the back of the site, but it's going to be a 1 versus 1. Frenzy versus the Ghost, low HP versus a healthy Shinobi. Dark cover to come out to at least put it halfway, and he is sticking it. Pros don't fake, and it's going to be the round for Cloud9.
Easy for Shinobi, finds 3 on the round, sticks to the fuse because, like you said, man, pros don't fake. Well played. Man, I got to tell you, Asuna is coming up with some heroics for this 100 Thieves team. It seems like even in rounds where they're not winning, they almost seem close because of the plays that he's making. I mean, that push into Hookah, I think it only got him 1 kill on the round, but you know, as far as 100 Thieves goes, you need those young fraggers to be performing, and it seems like they both are. Like I said, Dicey just seems like he missed out on opportunities in the first half.
Yeah.
But both of them are hitting their shots, and Austin is definitely making some plays. So, you know, you have some good things to lean on moving into this half, especially, you know, if you're gonna lose pistol, trailing 7-5 on the defensive side bind, moving over to your attack side, losing pistol is a little bit more, I won't say depressing, but certainly your morale's a little bit lower than it should be at this point in the game. Yeah, it does hurt. It does sting. Shinobi finding a cheeky frag on Dicey. They still know he's inside of that teleporter. He's only got 35 HP, so they're going to force the issue, and they'll clean it up, finding a Spectre for their troubles, but not before Shinobi collects 2 of his own. 100 Thieves on an eco. 2 on 4. I don't see them finding a bomb plant here, but if Vice somehow fumbles this hookah drop, perhaps that could come to fruition.
One player remaining.
First kill does not happen. And Mitch is still going to go, so there it is.
Yeah.
9-5 now, Cloud9.
I mean, you have the Nanoswarm in there, right? So if Vice even missed his shots, Nanoswarm's going to come out. Mitch was already on a flank as well. So Vice, even if he doesn't land his shots, was just that person that's going to slow down the attacks of 100 Thieves, prevent them from getting a spike plan, prevent them from adding more credits into the bank, where at that situation you probably just seen Asuna with a full shield instead of half shield, which is much needed right now as 100 Thieves are still trailing at a deficit of 4 rounds. Bonus round is going to come in for Cloud9. They are probably looking to press forward because of the low weaponry that they have. So they're going to try to use Tens with the Judge, close range, but he gets pinged out. That's a perfect Dark to come through, a recon to take down Tens, but Shinobi is playing another tight angle with the Spectre and still reads him like a book. And now that chapter is closed as Relics chimes back for a trade, make that a second to even up the tally. Now it's going to be a mirror match, and it's going to be Asuna that pulls on top. That allows here a spike plan to go, with the last two players looking to rotate from the B side from Cloud9. Things are finally looking a little bit more positive. A little bit of rainbows coming through the clouds here for 100 Thieves. And they're looking to secure this round. Cloud9 working together now from the spawn side. A nice ding from Austin as Vice falls. That leaves now Mitch. He does have a Phantom to work with, though, so he could still put a lot of firepower in. But Asuna chimes in with the hat trick. He talked about how good Asuna was despite the missed shot that he had versus Mitch before. Got that redemption into this round, and they put the first one in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, that's it's a bonus round out of Cloud9, but you got to be feeling good if you're 100 Thieves, because strategically, that was a decisive round. That was you working a side of the map. That was bathroom showers, whatever you want to call it. That was a decisive fight. A great scan coming out from the recon dart. I think that is one of those things that I maybe, when we're talking about the halftime score, didn't mention about 100 Thieves, is that I really do think the strength of a team like this, with the veterancy that they do have, Van Silly, I think, we were talking about a little bit their mid-game, the ability to adapt throughout games should be theoretically strong, right? It should be a very strong attribute of this team, and certainly the attack side is where you see that most often. And if you're going to be going against the likes of Tens, who's going to relentlessly push you and find frags against you, putting his team in a 5-on-3, then you need to at least have an attack plan that can somehow find ways to shut this down. And I described it as a strength, but Tens is over here just walking around finding frags. Nitro does pick up one onto him at last, but it is too little too late. Tens looking absolutely invincible on this map.
Cloud9 look good there. They shift the gears a little bit to re-aggress back for a second round in a row. And also, they were in a great position to catch 100 Thieves into solo fights, 1 versus 1. On this early 5-on-2 situation. There was nothing really that 100 Thieves was ready for where they could set up for a trade. They were basically setting up for an execute, and all of those plans spoiled when you saw Tens moving forward and getting those entries. And I think Relics was the other one that got the third kill, if I'm not mistaken. So there's nothing that 100 Thieves could have done there, and I think now they have to press into a different type of strategy because they do have 3 Phantoms to work with, 2 Ghosts. So I'm assuming you're just going to run in as a ball, try to take control of this hookah. But who else other here than Tens waiting? Thankfully, you do have that Sova drone that's going to spot 2 players to fall back. But look at this. It's 3 players playing really close to the window. Shinobi, definitely, they heard him through the teleporter before. But this is going to be a pincer maneuver where 100 Thieves, if I were them at this point, knowing that there's somebody that went through teleporter, or it could have been a fake Omen teleport, right? We don't really know yet from the point of view of 100 Thieves. And that's going to look to secure it. We have to force him out because of that, and that's very well done. But it's going to be Shinobi. He's going to go out of that from the shadows back into the spawn site, and 100 Thieves are still pushing into B. So now they're running into a 4-man stack inside the B site. I don't know how this is going to happen. The Cloudburst maybe could be the moment of salvation where things slow down for them, and they decide to backtrack, but they don't. They still push through the Cloudburst. Molly's to come out. Dicey with the nice. Dicey going for 2, but Tens retaliates back with 3 kills of his own. Nitro trying to stay alive as he takes down 1, but then gets eliminated by a 6th man in Cloud9's turret. And that is now going to be 11-6.
What does Tens eat for breakfast, man? Somebody check this dude's PC. He's 25-9. And like every round, I want to give a little bit of credit to 100 Thieves for like working their default decently. Like they're getting into at least the starting point for what should be great map control. They're working defaults almost effectively, and then they have to face a challenge against Tens, and they lose. This guy just has picked up a 4K, a 3K, and a 3K in the last 3 rounds, I believe. And the fact is, he just seems to be getting hotter as this match continues. So Cloud9, I mean, this is a factor that you're always going to have to deal with no matter, what you have in your roster, your agent composition, strategy, map. It doesn't matter. You still have to beat Tens at his own game, which is turning everything into aim maps at this point. Like, this is a Kovac scenario, man. This guy is absolutely on fire. Mitch leading the push. Excuse me, he's an aim labber. Finding the first one is Mitch. 4-on-4. This is just an eco at 100 Thieves, mind you. So this is looking for a plant. This is good. Getting out of the bomb site. But Cloud9 forced back. They don't seem to mind. Willing to retake. Drop the Killjoy ult. At least to secure it. May seem like overkill, but fact of the matter is, There's no harm in securing around here, even if it is against Nico. But it seems as though the stick will come out. Under Thieves will fall 6-12 to Cloud9, who is now on map point, Vansily.
Yeah, so at least you get a spike plant. You wasted the Killjoy utility on your end, 400 Thieves, so you get come back into rifles. You also forced Shinobi to use from the shadows that previous round. And so far, I haven't seen a lot of showstopper kills from Relics either, so they're doing a good job from avoiding all of these, but this is the thing that's going to be difficult. The top fragger for the team for Cloud9 as Tense also has a Bladestorm available, and even on 1v1 versus on rifles, they can't win it. So they have to find a way to eliminate him early to try to come back into this game as, you know, the knives are already out here courtesy of Tens. And 100 Thieves, with the weapons that they have, they are still looking to play this sort of passive maneuver because they see how aggressive Cloud9 has been at the start on the A side at least. And from the way that they're back-pacing here, they're looking to get control to get their first 4 showers only. There's going to be a Paranoia coming out, too. There's that Paranoia, there's that dash, and still waits for it because he didn't get caught by it. But a trade after trade, a showstopper to come out, and there you go. Like I said, they wasted both of them right away. This is perfect right now for 100 Thieves, and they could readapt now to the A side, to an open side after Relics falls from the hands of Hiko. So a spike plant will come through. It's a 4 versus 2 in favor of 100 Thieves. They smoke up the right areas. A Paranoia also towards the defender spawn that will slow things down for Cloud9 on the retake. And they're okay, I think, at this point to still want to fight it early for the last 2 defenders, as they just want to continue to make this expensive. They've only killed 1 player, which is good in the hands of 100 Thieves in terms of economy. So if they're able to kill 1 or 2 more, it'll be a good, you know, good news at least for Cloud9 going into the next round. But they lost 1, Vice has fallen, and Mitch at this point is gonna fight for his life to at least try to stay alive into the next round, sorry.
Right. It's going to go the way of 100 Thieves there. Austin cleans it up, 12-7 now. Cloud9 still on map point, but certainly, like you mentioned, not exactly a situation where their money is going to get broken. You're not going to have a force a reset out of Cloud9. You might in a couple rounds, but absolutely, this is where you start it. And, you know, for Cloud9, I think it's perfectly reasonable to go for kills there at the end, even if you're not going to go for it. You want to build the ultimate, like you mentioned, keep the economy of 100 Thieves at least in check to prevent such a comeback. Doesn't happen though. 100 Thieves clean round, 4 alive. So well played to them. Interested to see what 100 Thieves decides to do following that A hit. You know, they're poised towards B now, 2 towards Hookah, 2 towards Long B, dropping the dart. So Cloud9's aware of it. They have 3 players over towards that side of the map. But I think in this round, you know, 100 Thieves is... I don't want to say that they need to rely on these executes almost into the bomb sites to win, but it does seem as though, because they are losing so many of these challenges from the likes of Cloud9, that the safest route at this point to maybe mount this comeback and break the economy of Cloud9 is going to require a few of these rounds to be, you know, as decisive as the last
Flawless,
one. And the hookah pressure comes out, but Tens is here. He has the operator. Austin will fall immediately. That is a change up from Cloud9 that shows its face immediately, and Austin was not prepared for it. Unfortunate. You know, I wonder whether or not, you know, because you're working that raise, and it's a little, you know, it's not regular that you see Austin every round working it, but when you have shown your presence there, I wonder whether or not it's worth it to maybe pop some satchels to clear that out. Give yourself a little bit of movement speed to dodge the operator, but forget about that for now. Steel is worked up short with his 100 Thieves cohort. They're pressing the A attack. He misses his shot. That Tens. Steel collects. Nice shot from him. A decent headshot. Finding a second one. He's cracked open this bomb site for 100 Thieves. Now Nitro finds one of his own. And now a 4-on-2. This retake from Cloud9 is almost as identical to the last round. As I mentioned, this is what 100 Thieves needs, and they're finding that success. Nitro finding his second on the round. Relics will collect 1 before deciding to bow out. Count his successes there for finding 1 kill, but you know, that's not enough to at least hope for a clutch, especially when you're not on 1 HP, Vansily. So, you know, they will stay on map point, but 100 Thieves is showing life late in the game, and certainly they're not out yet.
Yeah, you got to give it to Steel there at that point, because you saw that when Tens was on the top of the tug of the tuna can, and he gets the first kill onto Asuna, you saw the 2 players at Fountain, they just booked it back towards the A side to say, okay, let's try to avoid Tens. But they went for a slower execution on the A side still that allowed Tens to reposition himself back into the A cubby. So it had to be a pristine kill coming in from Steel. He had to be on lock, especially a Vandal versus an Operator, and he wins that fight. And that allows then 100 Thieves to actually just run into the site with only 20 seconds left into the round, maybe even 15 seconds left until we finally got in and tried to get the plant down. And
let me cut you off here for a second,
go ahead.
Van Silly. Can we just check the scoreboard? We see Zoomers on top. I say again, Zoomers on top. The old men are not awake yet. And we talked about that early in the cast. I was like, 100 Thieves needs to take buy, but this is an early match. Got older players on it. Like, this is going to be a tough map.
I don't know, man. It should be the opposite.
Even if it is your map pick here, right? Like, even if this is your home map, this is just so tough. Cloud9 is playing so well, man.
We're boomers ourselves, man. Getting 5 hours, 6 hours of sleep before having to go into work the next day. You know, that's a normal thing for us.
True.
Zoomers like play until 4 a.m. then they sleep for 14 hours. Yeah,
I don't know. They're showing some strength here. We see Tens and Relics cracking ahead.
That's true. That's true. So a 5-on-4. We're moving forward here inside Hookah. There's a little gap into the cloud burst as Tens takes an advantage of that and takes down Hiko. Actually, it seems as though he was on a backstab from Teleporter. So we're gonna have a Killjoy ult coming out. This is going to push the defender spawn away, and he does get spawned by Vice in the back of the spawn. But thankfully, that means we have an open site all the way. A counter Hunter's Fury to come through, but it's still going to be the plant coming down with a 5-on-3. And this allows right now 2 players at low HP, moment of salvation for 100 Thieves, where hopefully they have the right crossfire setup. You do have one flanking inside the showers area who decides to go towards short. He's going to meet up with his teammates. Steel has to come up huge again, and he does so. He eats a little bit of the silver dart, but he still gets the hat trick. Just like that, it's a 2 versus 2. 2 opponents low on HP on each side. As we have Tens moving forward, but the crossfire is still true. Nitro to fall in. Steel once again has to come up huge. He has to go for the ace. It's a dark cover. He's sticking a spike. The knife comes out, and he does not make him taste Steel.